Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the crazy land. Welcome to Earth, everybody. Welcome to Earth. Hopefully, everybody is doing fine. Hey, Tanya. Is doing fabulous out there. A shout out to my big bro. It's his birthday today, Jimmy. I think I'm the only one who calls him Jimmy. Everybody else calls him Jim. But I've always called him Jimmy. And I remember one time I did a post and I said, "Have a great day, Jimmy." And someone goes, "Who is that calling you Jimmy?" And he laughed. He did, LOL. And he said, "Oh, that's my little sister. She's always called me Jimmy." So it's just one of those things. It's good morning, Raylene. It's when you look at your own life, there's certain things that you always do, and you've always done them. Hey, Drew. But you sometimes you don't even think about it, right? As life goes on, you don't think about why you are doing what you are doing. Like calling somebody a certain name. Like for a lot of people call me MJ. Or my family members usually call me Mary, and then other people call me Mary June. So it's my name. So it's that sort of pattern you get into, and we get into these little patterns, and we sort of not even thinking about it, we do it, right? And with there's a reason behind my stories. As we go along, and we're going along right now, we are starting to see certain patterns. Some patterns are good, and some patterns, of course, are not. Some patterns are, yeah, we need to change things up. And other ones are like, okay, you know what? This is a good thing for me. I have to continue this. This feels right. Or it's not hurting anybody. And I like to do this. I like to, whatever it is. And we're having this energy right now, especially with the sun conjuncting Neptune. It is a boundless energy. We have this boundlessness of energy that's with us right now, and along with Jupiter. And as I've stated before, we haven't seen this since 1856. And when we look at the history of 1856, the world was changing, ideas were changing. The way you did something wasn't was being brought up that it wasn't right. That's not the right way. That's not the right way you treat people. And in 1856 was the Civil War in the United States, and it started to go around the world on, you know what, maybe slavery is wrong. Now, outright slavery, I mean, now we still in this world, there is still slavery, yet it is hidden. We don't see it. It's not in your face. This was slavery in your face. This was like General Lee wrote to his wife and said, "You know what? I don't see how the black people could continue on without our help. We need to continue to enslave them. They need us." This crazy thought. This was his belief system, and this is what he thought, and this is what he brought to his the men. This is what we need to do. So in his obscure craziness, he believed that what he was doing was right. This is what I'm doing. And here we are back in a energy of this Neptunian energy, of the very abstract, of the abstract type of energy that's coming in. And that what you think you see or know may not be exactly what you think you see or know. There is an abstractness to it, and there is a oddness, a weirdness that's coming in. And the waves are very the waves are and the word deep, I mean, the waves are deep and can be turbulent. So we are in deep turbulent waves. We are in an energy that is bringing through to us a um a portal Rick Levine was talking about this, and he was mentioning stargates, and he said that we are going through all of these stargates, and as one opens, we go through it, and then it closes, another one opens, another one closes, another one opens, and we have to go through all of these different stargates right now as we are changing and transforming our energy. And through that, a lot of our, our values, our ideas, how we do things are being taken away, are being transformed, and we're exhausted. We're exhausted, let alone having something else. It's one thing that we are spiritually going through a huge transformation through our energetic field into our bodies, bringing this energy through us, with us, in us, and around us, let alone having day-to-day things happen within our lives, craziness that hits us out of the blue, and that we have to deal with that along with whatever our body is doing and transforming. It's exhausting, and we might be, that we are having gone through a lot and trying to get through the waves, we might feel a little bit of seasickness and having a wee bit of seasickness and trying to have a grip. And this is our spiritual grip, having to have that spiritual energy. And this is where we have to really dig down deep inside of us to bring in that transformation and changes that we are wanting, with grace and gracefulness. I'm not going to say grace and ease, but I'm going to say gracefulness. We would like to have the ease, but the ease is in the breath that we take each and every day. The ease comes in within that, in our within that breath, as we are breathing, as we are inhaling and exhaling, and within each inhale, it is a connection of our collective. Within each exhale, it is a connection. It is a connection with all of us, as we are exhaling all that no longer is aligned for us. We are great in doing our own thing and in getting through whatever we need to get through. What a lot of this energy is opening us up to is that, especially with Aquarius, is that you're not alone. Even if you did not watch any news, even if you didn't have any, say, computer or anything, you'd be feeling something. There'd be like, oh, this is, there's something in the air. Something is changing. I know something is happening. I can't put my finger on it because it's the collective energy. We're coming up to close to 7 million people within the collective, and there is this transformation of energy that's coming in, and it's unpredictable, and it's coming in with this unpredictability that's going on. And I was just watching a historian show, and how even with some of the energies there was back, I think it was in 1856, somewhere around there, that again, there was a war in around the Ukraine, very similar to what's happening now. And how, for people fighting for what they believe in, and fighting for whatever, whatever you fight for in war, there's always, it's bad. That's all I'm going to say. But there was a skirmish, in that area at this time, and it slowly led up from these wars that happened, and led up to the World War One, and the craziness within World War One, the ending of the Tsar in Russia, the ending of different ways of doing things. So things were changing. So this was a time that, okay, this is changing. This is person. Okay, now there's a new government over here. Oh my God, now this is happening over here. Oh, now we don't have. Now we are rejoining, or looking at the lines of our borders. So it was like everything all at once, boom, 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 happening very similarly to what is going on within our world right now, where it is one thing after another. It's like one domino falls and another domino and another domino and another domino. And we're in this domino energy of bringing forth change, bringing forth these transformations. And it is so important for us to come into our checkpoints, come into our places where we breathe, coming into the breath, coming into the grace and the gracefulness. Grace is a beautiful energy. Joy is this exhalation, like this high energy. But grace, when you have this gracefulness, this grace, it is coming in where you are, it's, how do I explain this? With poise and an understanding. And you come forth with this beauty within. You allow it in amongst the craziness, in amongst all of the scrimmages, and you walk through this with an elegance. And that's the part of the energy coming in. This energy is coming in with grace. It's like seeing the war-torn energies of the world, and this hand coming in and saying, you know what? You're going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. Yes, we are going through tremendous changes, and there's more to come. There's more to come. We are going to have, as I mentioned before, that where we'll have lockdowns, but the lockdowns aren't going to be a COVID lockdown. The lockdowns are going to be an environmental lockdown. I don't know if any of you remember the 70s, where you had even and odd days when you filled up with gas, and that there's only certain days that you were allowed to fill. It's like even in odd days with when you water your lawn. We used to have that all the time in Penticton, where only certain days you were allowed to water your lawn, and depending on what your number was, right? So odd days do this, and even days. So not everybody's tapping into the water all at once. And this is where we are coming into something very similar again, where there are going to be restrictions. We're seeing it within our gas prices. And I hate to say that, I just have a feeling the gas prices are just going to get higher at this time. We're in, just like in many times in history, we're in this sort of bubble that has to come in and has to boil and has to come to a point of total sort of chaos and explosion in order to bring in change. That is, if anybody's worked with Callie, that's how she works. She works with the chaos and change. She brings in the chaos and change. Things, disruptive, and it feels like, oh my God, how can I get through this? There's a movie, and I can't remember, and it's an Indian movie about this young man who gets a job opportunity. His job opportunity says, we're going to place you in India because I want you to set up call centers. And he's like, oh my God, I don't really want to go to India, but to set up these call centers in India and help to train people for call centers for his company. And he goes there, and he, of course he doesn't want to be there, but he's going through and he's meeting all these beautiful people that are helping him. But it's like, one of them is, brings in, and she started talking to him about Callie and bringing in the energy of Callie, that she helps you with change. She helps you with the change in your life. And so he started saying, well, okay, I want change in my life. And craziness starts to happen in his life. Craziness where, the thing is that the laws and rules in India are different than the laws how we do our electricity. This is just one scene where the electricity is going down, and it's all, he goes, oh my God, we got to get an electrician in there. And one of the guys goes, what do you mean electrician? We can rewire this and go up over here and then go into that transformer over there. And he goes, how can you do that? He goes, well, watch. And that's what they did. So the thing is, the reason why I bring this up is that we're going through such chaos and change, and we're thinking that it has to be done this way. But there might be different ways that are going to come in for us to create the magic and create the grace for us that seems so outrageous and so nutty that it's like, well, that's not how we do it. That's not how we've ever done it. Yet it's having us take a different look at our world, take a different look at how we do the things that we do, so that we step into that magical world. So we step into that energy and that spiritual, because that's what Pisces is. Pisces is the mystic. This is why Geminis, this is why Mercury doesn't like Pisces, because it's logical. It's logical. It wants to bring in the logic of everything. When we enter into this Pisces energy, and especially with Jupiter and Neptune there, and Mercury's going to be there for 3 weeks. The last time he was in there was when the spell was cast. And now he's in there again, but there's a quick one that's coming in. And sometimes we're not going to get all, because we're wanting something logical. And there isn't. We got to trust our intuition. We got to trust our divine. We got to trust our God and Goddess. I also mentioned at the beginning of the year, this is a year of miracles. This is the year of the divine miracles that are coming in. And a lot is coming up about the Divine Mother Mary. And that's because Ukraine is very attached to the Divine Mother Mary. There's been visions of her with the Greek Orthodox Church, of her coming to visit and being seen and doing predicting. And there's been a lot to do with Mary. And her thing is, the one thing is always her messages have an if. If you do this, greatness will happen. If you don't do this, the downfall will happen. She gives you this, if you want to do this, right? If you don't want to do that, well, that's your choice. But this is the consequences that come with your choice. There's more chaos and disruption that comes with your life. And this is where it's coming again. It's like, if you are wanting to bring in the great changes in your life, you have to step into the mystical and magical ways. And you got to step into that of this divine energy. I believe in God, and I believe in the Goddess. I believe in that Christ consciousness energy that's coming down and activating our Holy Trinity within us. Activating that beautiful God self, our Goddess self. And without the God, there is no Goddess. And without the Goddess, there is no God. You have to have the two to bring this in, so that we can step into the changes that we want to have in our life. And when we do that, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. So over the course of this week, step into the miracles. Choose miracles, right? So you choose the miracles and you let go of what no longer serves you. So you choose the miracles and you let go of what no longer works for you. Choose the miracles and let go of what no longer works for you. And as you do this, you're activating and bringing in the changes of your own realm. On my, I think I have it. On the back, these my business cards, but on the back, I have on the back of it, it says, let go of grievances and choose miracles. Let go of grievances and choose miracles. Let go of the grievances and choose the miracles. That's where we're at. And that's part of the course in miracles. When we let go of the grievances and choose the miracles, that's where we're at right now. And it's that stepping into that mystical and magical energy. And this is going to have things change for us in huge ways. But in that change, there could be some really great, powerful energy that comes in. And um, there is going to be mass confusion. There's going to be so many people freaking out. We might be feeling that freak out energy, especially this week. So we must stay grounded. We're heading towards a full moon in Virgo, and Virgo does not want mystical and magical. Most of my Virgos want that doesn't make sense. I need to see it. What do you mean that's not logical? And then they go through their little freak out within their own selves because that where with Mercury and Gemini, it's all in here, like in the mind, in there, blah 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 blah. In the Virgo, it is all internalized. It goes within the body. So we will feel a lot of the energies coming within the body, coming within us, trying to figure things out and trying to make it logical, trying to make it, we got to have some kind of logic in this all, yet there is no logic. There's no logic right now. It is where we have to come into what really our space is and what makes us happy and coming into that magical part. That's where we're at right now. So, a few things I want to let people know, which is crazy, some crazy information I got in Lebanon right now and parts of the Middle East. They are putting rations on flour. And you might not think anything of it. You might not think that's a big deal, but you have to realize what flour, where a lot of our flour comes from, even though we grow wheat, but we have made our world a global trading where we send it all out or we bring it in from other places. And one of the other places is, of course, the Ukraine and Russia. We get a lot of stuff from Russia. And the more I looked at it, I'm just like, holy shit. And the more I'm looking at everything that's happening over there, my heart goes, war is on either side is bad. But we really have to take a step back on what is actually going on. And sometimes, as we have had in the past, we've been shown that the media lies. So not everything is coming out with full truth. I heard somebody said they took a Russian tank because it ran out of gas. Well, where's the pictures? You're saying this, but you don't have any pictures with this. It's just weird. And why would a tank run out of gas? That was just sort of weird, anyways, in my mind. But there are things that are happening that may not be as what they seem to be. Now, getting off topic there a little bit, but going back to the flour is that we use flour again. We use flour for a lot of things. Your pizza, your bread. Even if people are gluten free, you got to think of what flour do you use? Do you use almond flour? Do you use rice flour? All of that, all of those types of flours are going to be slowly coming to restriction. Now, this isn't for you to go crazy and start stocking up on flour, but it is for you to have a realization of, okay, maybe I got to add that to the list and maybe I'm going to buy another 10-pound bag or whatever it is, and I have it on hand. You can actually vacuum seal flour so it lasts longer in canning jars. So if you want to vacuum seal, if you want to go that route so that you have flour on hand, I know a lot of my preppers do that, and they have so that it's all vacuum sealed and they have a lot of flour on hand, just in case. And one of my preppers, she's off grid, and she lives in a very remote area of Canada. So she does that, and she goes, that it's not because she goes of anything else. It's just that sometimes we can't get the supplies in that we need. So That's why she does what she does. So these are the things is to start to look at. And the other thing is, there has been at least, was it like 8,000 hacks already on different companies and stuff. So hacking and stuff like that have been happening on many different companies. So a lot of craziness. So make sure that you back your stuff up. Also with Mercury in Pisces can feel like a Mercury retrograde. So back your stuff up, with your communication. Make sure, again, I'm going to tell people, write things down. If you filed your taxes, make sure you print your stuff off so you have it. Make sure you have a hard copy of it, not a hard copy on your computer, but a hard copy in your hand. Um, Same with your assessments and stuff like that. Make sure you have, when it comes to a lot of your paperwork, have hard copies of it and put it in a safe place. So I know that, a lot of people will, oh, but that's paper and blah, blah, blah. Well, if something happens to the computer and say you need that, or let's say your account got frozen for some obscure reason, and then they can't find your account, and that happened to a guy in England, a couple of people in England. 3 of his accounts were frozen, and he went in there with his passport, with all his ID, and they could not find any information on him at all. But he had hard copies of all of his accounts. He had hard copies of the loans. He had hard copies of everything. And it had to go from there. Now it's in the hands of the government because something, he goes, I don't know what it is, but they are reassessing everything because the government took his money. So these are strange times. This is why it's so important for you guys to be diligent. And sometimes it might feel, oh, it's so exhausting. Don't let that take you over, because it's going to kick you in the ass later. So make sure you have what you need on hand. So that's going to be very, very important. Okay. This week is going to be a little bit, no, it's not going to be a little bit, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be jackass crazy energies coming in this week. So keeping yourself grounded. Saging. Sage your home. You might not be a person who sages. I would say get your ass out and start saging, because craziness is going to start coming in. If when stargates are open, that doesn't mean things, it's not just one way. Sometimes other things come through in different ways. So doing your saging, doing your cleansing, decluttering, begin to declutter your home, begin to let go of whatever you need to let go of in your homes. That's going to be an important piece over the next month to 2 months. So start, make a list of going through each room, taking your time and going through each room. And doing that's going to be very helpful for you. The other part also, just cash on hand too. And you're going to hear me say this over and over and over again, but I know for many of you, it's not too late to start doing any of this. I mean, I know I've been saying a lot of this for the last 3 years now, but it is imperative that we actually do this. It is imperative that we actually take the time to do what we need to do in order for for your own self to be safe and secure. I mean, that's the important piece here too. So, stand tall, stand strong. I will get, and I know I did one quite a while ago on the Jupiter Neptune conjunction, but that I'll come out and talk about that a little bit more of what to expect with that, because that's coming up on April 12th. And that's going to be a little bit of a nutty energy in itself, along with the Uranus and North Node conjunction that's going to be happening this year as well. So we're going through change. We're going through transformation. It's kind of like we're all going through puberty all at once. And we're like, fuck this. but we're going through it with knowledge and strength and courage and grace. So I'm sending you guys out so much love. Thank you so much for being a part of my community. And I'm going to shout out to my community for all your support in my time right now and in our healing that is happening with my husband, Steve. He's a little bit tired today. And he woke up this morning. There's not feeling as chipper as he would like to feel. So our days are Monday through Fridays. My days have changed, like for doing readings. I am still doing readings. So if you are wanting to book in a reading, it's just I am limited on the times that I can do readings right now. So if you are wanting to book a reading, I am limited on times. So definitely get a hold of me and we will work out something. We'll work out something. Okay. So thank you, Raylene. And any new classes and stuff, I will be starting them up after Easter. And my first one will be the Karmic Release. So that's a 3-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the weekend after Easter. And it's $333. That's what I've always charged for that. It's a heavy weekend, but it's a beautiful weekend. And it is all online via Zoom. So if you are interested in doing that, definitely. If you've done it before and you want to do it again, there is a price cut for you. So definitely, if you want to do it again, you can do that. I've had people take it 2 times, 3 times sometimes, and it just helps with the grounding, helps with the direction. Every time I teach it, I go through the same thing. So I go through a lot of karmic energy and a lot of releasement. I'm an onion, there's a lot of layers. So guys, blessings to you all. Have a great day. Have a fabulous Sunday. And may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.